They tried to stop them. They burned them. They shot them. They gave them bad reviews on iTunes, but they kept coming back every time. Better, stronger than ever. This year, they are back again, and this time it's personal. The Attack of the Killer Podcast Awards, Part 2. Our top 10 year-end best of 2022 on this episode of Attack of the Killer Podcast.
Attention planet Earth and beyond. Stay tuned for Attack of the Killer Podcast. 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 Time for the show. Yay.
Hello, everybody. Excuse me. Hi, everybody. Welcome to part 2 of our annual year-end top 10 of 2022. Our favorites in 2022 horror. Last episode, we covered 10 through 6, and now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Things are going to get real as we go through our top 5. We will each share from our list and discuss those films. Now, we're all friends hanging out, talking about horror movies, so there's probably going to be spoilers. Just going to warn you, it may happen, all right? If you like this show, support it. Put your money where your mouth is. And go to jointheattackers.com, where you can pick the tier that best suits you to become an attacker. Now, an attacker is a member of the Attack of the Killer podcast family, where you can help support the show and get all kinds of cool stuff, from bonus episodes, our video series, original art by me. Are you laughing because I said series? Yeah. And so much more. So go to jointheattackers.com and support the show and become an attacker. Do it now. Jointheattackers.com. Well, you can wait till the episode's over. But go to jointheattackers.com. All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce you to the podcast crew. He got down on one knee and handed his now wife the ring. He takes movie night very, very seriously. Andy, everybody!
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Spoilers, his number one film of the year is called Laxative. It scared the crap out of him. Jason!
Dang it. Poop jokes always win. God, I'm so excited to be here. It's the top 5. We're going to finally know. Thanks for listening.
What are we going to know?
The top 5. Our top 5. What the hell's Dustin been watching? I can't wait. Or somebody else that we don't know.
He watched that movie about two people who go camping in the woods and are killed in their sleep. He couldn't finish it, though. He said it was too intense. Tad.
So many intense jokes. Come on. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm excited. Top 5. Woo.
He watched that horror movie involving a camera and a window blind. He said the movie was on Shudder. Dustin!
Oh, what's up, everybody?
Speaking of Shudder, it's our sponsor, guys.
Yeah.
You need Shudder in your life. And you can do that by signing up for Shudder. Now, Shudder is the streaming service for all things horror. Still not convinced? Well, I'll tell you what. We'll give you a month for free. How about them apples?
Free?
Free. A month for free.
Is there like a code or something?
Yes! Funny you ask. Enter our own very personal private promo code, AOTKP. There you go. I just gave it to you.
There, in your
You're
face.
welcome. And get a month of Shudder for free.
Okay.
We'll wait.
Jeez, so aggressive.
We'll wait till you
Do it now.
All right, guys. I just want to get through all that so we can get to the top 5. I'm so excited. How do we feel about the list so far?
Yeah, should we each recap?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Probably should have done that at the end of the last episode.
Well, I was taking notes
Oh, good.
because every year you're like, send me your lists. And then
Yeah.
3 weeks later, we find where we wrote it down and send it to you. So So I've been taking notes just for you, sir.
Okay.
So Jason had Hatching at number 10, Glorious at number 9, Pearl at number 8, X at number 7, and Northman at number 6. Tad's number 10 was Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. 9 was Nope, Nope, Nope. 8 was Hatching, Hatching, Hatching.
Come on.
7 was The Sadness. And 6 was Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Andy had Black Phone at number 10, Smile at number 9, Pearl at 8, 7, Glorious, and 6, The Sadness. Dustin had Mad God at number 10, Smile at number 9, Pray at number 8, 7 was The Sadness, 6 was Halloween Ends. And then me, 10 was Nope, 9 was Terrifier 2, 8 was The Sadness, 7 Black Phone, and 6 is Glorious. Okay, place your bets for the top 5, people, because it's time. Let's start off with Jason. What is your number 5 film of the year 2022?
Oh my gosh, it's we mentioned it last episode, but I'm pretty excited about a new movie with a giant alien. I'm talking about Prey.
Yay!
Yeah, man, it was great for all those reasons. For me, the thing I mean, besides the Predator stuff and it being a unique way to tell an old story, I loved it a lot because of the Native American stuff. That's been a big thing for me in my life, and I've just always been interested in it. So it was super cool for them to just make it such a big part of this movie. And it almost, Tad, weren't you telling me they did an audio version of this film, like in?
Well, there is a Comanche dub on here.
That's right.
But they were trying. The director was trying to get it filmed like originally in Comanche with like an English dub, and of course, the powers to be were like, "Sorry, that's like one thing we can't bend on." So, but you can watch it with the Comanche dub on Hulu.
Yeah, it's cool. That's cool as shit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, great gore, great story. It's so fun. Yeah,
Amazing
man.
cast too. That lead is amazing. She was so good. And yeah, like you almost. I mean, everything that's going on is so involving. It's like you almost don't even need the Predator, but it's still cool when he shows up. And I like the look of him too. It's definitely a different look.
Yeah.
More of a skull for the mask part.
And they did all the Predator things you want with the lasers and the hunting and the blood, green blood, and the the things.
Brian Clark is listening, going, "Oh, I hated the design; it was awful, or whatever." But I thought it was cool.
I liked it.
I loved it.
Yeah, man. You just trying to get on Brian Clark now? Is that...
Yep.
Get him. That guy. Just kidding.
We love you, Brian.
Of course.
All right, Tad, what's your number 5?
My number 5 has been, I think almost all of these have been mentioned, but my number 5 is Ty West's X. Having Ty West back is such a great thing for horror and for filmmaking in general. It's just, he feels like a filmmaker's filmmaker, if that makes any sense. Just loved it. So much fun. Love Kid Cudi. I thought was really good in it. And we have Jenna Ortega and just a great cast and a really cool, fun, unique story. And yeah, X. Really cool. Not much else to say about it.
I do love this one as well. I don't think it did. I think it got bumped from my top 10, unfortunately. But very, very awesome. Very solid. Really bummed I didn't get to see this or Pearl in the theater, but oh well. Shit happens. Andy, number 5 for you.
My number 5, as you know, it's been mentioned before, there's a lot of crossover going here, but mine's a little higher than others. It is Hatching. I really really enjoyed this. Just between you know what just basically what everybody said. I mean, I don't know if I can elaborate more than what we've already talked about. Just a great, like Tad said, a coming of age movie. I think it's my only foreign film on my list, but oh no, other than the sadness, excuse me. But yeah, not much more can be said. I really enjoyed it.
I will say this: how cool is it that like this weird movie about a girl like incubating an egg? We like all bonded on it. Like it just keeps coming up. Like, what are the odds? I guess that says how great it is that it's making our list. So
And I guess looking at it now, it's almost like the ending should have was kind of foreshadowed because like how when twins have like they can feel each other's pain,
yeah,
and then whenever she would like slap herself, it would hurt like her bird twin or whatever you want to call it. I guess we should have seen that, almost sort of kind of coming, but yeah, just it's so unique. It's probably the most unique thing that I've seen all year, other than maybe Everything Everywhere All at Once. But I mean, that's a completely different genre. But yeah, definitely. Number 5 with a bullet, Hatching.
you could say Hatching flew under the radar.
Ah, now you're starting to talk like Mike.
That's right.
It's one really, hatched out of nowhere.
Oh, somebody make an example out of him.
Okay.
I'm exhausted.
Walking on shells here.
Jesus Christ. Please let it stop.
You're making Mike so happy. Quit
I
it.
am. I'm giddy. I just want to say what a time we live in when it comes to movies, that we get such weird concepts anymore. Like stuff that I'm not trying to pun, but wouldn't fly like even maybe like a decade ago, right? So such a cool time to get such bizarre. It's like it's almost as if, well, everything else has been done. Let's do a movie about a bird twin.
Yeah, we're treated with shit coming out of left field big time. Right?
Yeah. Number 5 for you, Dustin.
My number 5. I went in completely blind again. Barbarian.
Yeah, finally makes it.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
first time mentioned.
This one must be
tonight.
pretty high up on people's list because we haven't talked about it yet. Or maybe not. I just thought this was a lot of fun. I saw Tad. I saw you on social media.
Tad
not just
wouldn't
you,
shut up about it.
but like, but other people as well saying go in blind. And typically,
Yes.
I when I see that, I usually I normally will. But I saw this from multiple people saying go in blind on Barbarian. So I kept it away. I kept it away until it became available on streaming, and watched it and had no idea at all what to expect. And I was kind of blown away by this at some point. I mean, it's wow. So many different. Gosh, I don't even know how to explain this. Maybe one of y'all can help me out, but like, because it's you would think it's starting out to be, man bad at the beginning,
Right.
Right.
Well,
It's
that's
a huge misdirection.
huge
Yes.
misdirection, and that's why it is so important to go into this movie blind, because that first, however long that is, it is such an edge of your seat tension, because something's going to happen and something's not quite right between these two, but it's none of that, and it's amazing that it just totally goes in the left field.
Yeah, the plot is very sleight of hand. When it happens, it's very effective.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like I was telling everyone, go in blind, and I saw this trailer before like 4 different movies, and bless Disney, out of all people, like all places,
Bite your
they
tongue.
picked this up and
Yeah.
they knew exactly how to handle this. Like they knew that this was going to be something that would be popular by word of mouth. So
Just drop
they
it
made
online.
well, the trailer was like they made it out to be like that first like quarter of the movie that we're all talking about with Skarsgård. That was the movie. They do never once included Justin Long in any of the promotion.
No.
Alluded to anything more than this being sort of like a tense sort of I don't want to say the T word, a tense movie in this house, like, and genius marketing to even if you did see the trailer, it was a surprise. The director is one of the whitest kids you know, Zach, and he talked that he tried to sell this to A24 and they didn't really get it. And out of all the places he shopped it to, Disney was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, we could build, this could be like a thing where we market it without, mentioning anything about the second half and let it build on its own. And credit to whoever in that
Yeah.
department saw the potential and went with it, and thank them so much for that, because it's been so long since I've been in a theater full of people that all gasped and were like, "Holy, what the fuck are we watching?" And then laughed and cheered, and it was a blast watching this in a pretty full theater. Like opening weekend, I think it just came out of left field. What a crazy balls to the wall movie.
That's an amazing story about the Disney thing. Like,
Yeah.
wow, Disney outcooled A24.
Yeah, in that
Weird.
case,
Not
like
listening.
they saw the potential. Yeah.
That's wild. That's so it's such a bizarro
It's like
world
opposite, yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Well, see, when I heard that, I knew it's like technically a Fox movie, and I was like, oh, maybe this is one that like Fox filmed and then Disney bought Fox, but no, like this was made by Disney after they had purchased Fox. So
Wow.
really cool.
Did we kind of get at what you were getting at there, Dustin? As far as
I was just trying to not, I guess, blow it. I mean, I didn't want to.
yeah, it's really hard.
Give too much away because it would be a disservice to the people who haven't seen it. I think it's, again, you got to go in blind.
Absolutely. Okay, so that leaves me with my number 5. It's been brought up a few times, and actually, wait, who had it at the same time? My number 5 is Prey as well.
Me.
Oh, that's
You and
right,
me, buddy.
You and me. See,
Twinsies.
one brain. That's right. Yeah, loved it too. I said it before. Not the biggest Predator film fan. Just not my genre. But not my franchise. But I loved this one. This is my favorite Predator movie. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And this should be the direction of, these kind of franchises, like a Predator or an Alien. Just dropping those creatures into
Yeah, give
completely
me
different environments.
a Western, give me a Victorian era
Yeah, there you
Predator.
Yeah.
and it could easily be done.
Have him take on Jack the Ripper or something.
Yeah.
You could do anything, man. It's I just hope they don't just do that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is I think an exception. Like hopefully,
Well, more of like outside the box thinking.
Yeah,
right.
as
I know
far
what you're
as-
saying. Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
What a concept.
Okay, so it's back to you, Jason, because it's time for our number 4s.
All right, I'm pretty excited about my number 4 because it hasn't been brought up at all yet.
Ooh,
and
nice.
I've checked the list, and we've all seen it, so either it's not on it, it's probably not going to be on any of your lists, but man, I freaking loved it. It is called Watcher.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
A
yeah.
young American woman moves with her husband to Bucharest and begins to suspect that a stranger who watches her from the apartment building across the street may be a local serial killer decapitating women. This fucking movie has hands down the best cinematography of the year, in my opinion.
Gorgeous.
That gets my vote.
Yeah.
Just watch the trailer and watch it for cinematography. You're just like, fuck, they just went to goddamn town on it. And this girl in here, the main lead girl, one, she's gorgeous, but like, man, what
Makeup
a
Monroe
yeah, yeah.
from It Follows.
And you're just the fish out of water. You're stuck with her through this, and no one believes her. And just for me, this feels like a modern Roman Polanski film.
Oh, nice call.
You know, I mean, not just for the apartment.
Hitchcock very much too.
But
Yeah.
I was thinking Brian De Palma too, possibly.
but yeah, it has some De Palma feel to it as well, just for the quality cinematography. But yeah, man, it's got such great slow scenes. I know you guys love that, but slow.
I do.
I know you do.
I
But I
really
always
liked
look at
it.
Mike when I say
Well,
these things.
comparative to when I usually complain about that shit, I was really invested in this, and there's a difference.
They
to
do
me.
it- they-
There's a difference in
Yeah.
what they do here compared to what
They
when
do
I
s-
usually bitch
they do
about
this
it.
amazing job of setting up this silhouette, you know, in this window, and they just take their time getting to him and building up this character, and if he's even really part of our story or not, and like, is she just freaking out, blah blah blah. And then by the end, they do such a great job of like, well, we get to meet this person, and you're like, oh, maybe the movie's like, oh, maybe
Yeah,
he's
maybe-
actually not a bad, maybe
Yeah,
it is
maybe this
in
all
her
just
brain.
her, yeah.
Yeah, and like it really fucking convinces you, and you're like, well,
Oh, yeah.
Plays
shit.
with you. Yeah.
And you know, and there's like scenes on the fucking subway. You're just like, fuck, I don't know. Is he bad? Is he good? So
Oh
good.
yeah.
What, is it even him? Is it another
You
person?
find out with her.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
The movie
And
does
that's
such
great.
a great job.
That's really good.
That's really effective.
Yeah, of taking you along with her, and man, what a fucking ending. I won't say anymore, but god damn
Ooh.
it.
Yeah.
There's
Intense.
Jesus. Yeah, when it yeah. I might have jumped off the couch when that big bang happens. But my gosh, I loved this movie a lot.
Yes, really great
Watch
movie.
her.
Absolutely. And I love your guys' comparisons to Polanski, Hitchcock, De Palma. Very much. I totally agree with you with Polanski because, I mean, it was very Rosemary's Baby, how not even her own husband
Neighbors
was
and
believing,
husband, yep.
you know.
Yeah.
Can't trust him after halfway through the movie. You're like, oh, maybe he's a shit too. Okay.
And there's so many layers of claustrophobia with this film too, and isolation, especially the isolation piece. You know, she feels isolated because she's in that apartment alone all the time, but
Doesn't speak the language.
even on a bigger level where
Yeah.
she's completely out of her element. This is lost in translation for horror, absolutely.
And yeah, it's directed by Chloe Okuno. And this is she did a segment in VHS 94. but
Oh,
she,
wow.
She also did an
Oh.
episode of Let the Right One In TV series. So
Okay.
you know,
Something to
hopefully
look out
Somebody
for.
to keep an eye out for.
She's
for
got
sure,
a
yeah.
pedigree. Yeah.
yeah, so she's doing stuff. Nice to have a female director. Yeah, 87, born in 87. Goddamn kids making movies these days, Mike.
Yeah, fuckers.
All right. But yeah, The Watcher, I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. It didn't make my list because
Yeah.
it's pretty bleak
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing. It's just, but it's great. It is a great movie. So Tad, what's your number 4?
One that's been mentioned several times. It's Prey.
Yay!
And again, like you, Mike, I think the first Predator's fine. I do not at all care for Predator 2 in the Alien vs. Predator movies. Ugh. But a completely fresh take on this character that blew me away. What a great film. I was lucky enough to see it at my friend Blake's house, and he has like a 100-inch screen with, projector, 4K projector with, way too many speakers, and see it close to a theater as I could, and fucking awesome. I mean, when he's cloaked and the blood's dripping down him, and just so many cool moments in this, and the cinematography in this is beautiful, and the time period, just what a cool idea, and to let them run wild with it and not keep Predator where he's been stuck. In the second movie, they're like, we'll take him out of the jungle, put him in the city. Well, this
The
one takes him,
concrete jungle.
yeah, and to take him here is wow, and to do it so well. This again, sort of like Hatching, could have been really bad in the wrong hands, and it wasn't
Yeah.
bad at all. My only gripe is that it didn't hit theaters. It should have been in theaters.
Should have totally been in theaters.
Yeah, and for such big landscape shots and beautiful cinematography, it just
Right.
I was lucky to see it on a sort of big screen, but I want to see this in IMAX. Give it to me, man.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Very much so.
Loved it.
This movie, because what's great about it, it's not just putting Predator in a period time. It has no look and feel comparative to any other Predator movie. It's a completely different movie that happens to have a Predator in it. For Christ's sakes, like the title. The title doesn't even have the word Predator in it. So, what other franchise strays that much from its original concept than that, So, anyway, yeah, it's great. It's awesome. That was Tad's number 4 was Prey. And speaking of number 4, Andy.
My number 4 has also been mentioned, and it is X.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Just everything from, just happening on this farm, just, with the alligator death. I mean, the kills in the barn. I mean, hell, even with, the guy getting shot with the shotgun. I mean, that guy walking around in his tidy whities looking for, I guess it's what's Mia Goth's? I know she plays 2 characters in this movie. One of them's Pearl, and what was the other?
I forget.
I can't. Well, he's looking for her, and he steps on that rusty ass nail, and that's just made me cringe. Just like, oh god, tetanus up the ass, and just
This is the worst place to have tetanus, by the way.
yeah, exactly. Her stabbing that guy in the neck, and and then Pearl getting run over with the van. Jesus. That's just brutal. I am very much looking forward to the 3rd movie in this series, but you have to watch Pearl in order to figure out which one that is. But yeah, absolutely love this series and these characters in this, and that's why Ty West appears 2 times on my list. Number 4, X.
Awesome. Hey, Dustin,
What's up?
how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
You know what I want to know?
What?
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Fresh.
Nice.
I love this movie. I will never look at freshly grated Parmesan on a human meatball ever the same. Like I go to bed at night thinking about that melting Parmesan on that meatball in that movie because I can't get it out of my fucking head. And I knew that's why it had to be high up on my list because it's in my head. I couldn't stop thinking about it.
It's a $30,000 meatball, right?
Right, exactly. Just this upper echelon of people that eat other people to me sounds so plausible. Like this, there's probably some people out there who do that fucking shit.
Yeah.
I also love Sebastian Stan. I love
He
to
did really
see
good in this.
a Marvel character break away from that. We don't get to see that as much, other than people who maybe were already somebody before they entered their Marvel universe,
Right.
like ScarJo. She can go on and do whatever she wants, but like Sebastian Stan kind of had his his career breakthrough with these Marvel movies. And I think it's hard to break away. And this was so good. I thought he got to expand, and kind of like stretch out a little bit in this role as this psycho doctor who operates on people to get their flesh and feed it to these billionaires. Also, I just absolutely love that in like the 30 or 45-minute mark, they bring up the title. It's like, bam, fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So late.
It's got such a long intro. It's like you think like the 2009 Friday the 13th intro was
Right,
long.
right.
This is like nothing.
You're like halfway through the movie before the fresh comes up, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Gotta forget all about that.
When that came up, I'm like, okay, this is definitely in my top 10. I just need to figure out where it's going to be. It you in these movies, no matter what the gender is of the main protagonist, you kind of put yourself in those situations. Like, what would I do in this situation? And I'm not sure I could do what she does, which I'll spoil a little bit, but to gain the trust of Sebastian Stan, because she's held prisoner in this like modern type home, she starts eating meals with him that are made out of human. And
Did she eat
I
like
just-
one of her roommates? Like
Right.
the right next door, like part of her.
Exactly. I don't think I could do that, y'all. I don't think
Ugh.
that would be incredibly hard. I mean, I know she does.
Versus the alternative.
I don't know.
Why this
I mean,
movie's so
She
hard.
she did ask him like, "Is this me?"
yeah. She
You know,
Oh,
it's like,
Jesus
am I eating
fuck.
my ass?
Some of the humor, yeah,
Oh.
dark, very dark humor, but like her character, it just good chemistry between the two. Also,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
they're very believable, as he does such a good job of like sucking her in, and the whole nice guy thing, and then it's like, well, you're gonna go spend a weekend with them. Even it's I felt there were some similarities between this and A Wounded Fawn, with meeting
Yeah.
a man, him gaining their trust, and then taking them out somewhere to do something. They're very similar in that. I did like Fresh a little bit better though, just because it was a little bit more compact and
Me
had
too.
a great
Yeah.
end. On
end
what
was great.
happens. But yeah, I mean, I just had a good time with it, and like I said, the more I think about something, especially right before I'm going to sleep, is going to be on my list, and it's going to be high up on my list, and I can't stop thinking about that fucking part. I can't eat spaghetti anymore and grate Parmesan and watch it melt and not think about that fucking human meatball.
When you mention like the upper echelon that he's like making these meals for these people, it almost kind of makes me think like this could be like part of like the Hostel universe
yeah.
Right.
a little bit.
There's like a scene where he cuts like a really thin piece of meat, and it almost looks like cured meat, like
Yeah.
and he like eats it, and it's like translucent because he cuts it so thin. He eats it like raw. I was hungry when I saw that. I'm like, oh no,
no.
like, yeah. I'm like, I'm like, am I one of these people? Like, oh no. But it made me like, it's just Sebastian Stan was so fucking great in this. Like, he's funny and charming and crazy and wild. And there's like a weird dance scene later after he cuts off her butt, and like, you know, and we're sort of along the, at least I was sort of fooled where I'm like, is she really like gaining his trust to betray him down the road, or is she still like so enthralled by his charm that she's
Yeah.
really falling back for him after she knows what a monster he is? And then I don't want to spoil too much.
Yeah.
I feel like I could talk about this one off air, but this almost made my top 10. It was
It's
very
a damn
close.
good movie.
Yeah.
I got to be honest though, like,
You told me this was hard to get through for you, Jason, and I'm curious.
yeah, like I think it's just a personal thing. Like I'm just this thing I realizing more about myself lately, and it shows by the amount of movies I watched this year versus non-horror. But like, I don't know, I'm just feel like I'm getting more sensitive to life and things. And like I almost turned it off, man, when they got to we'll call it cabin, I guess, or the house. Like, cause I didn't really know, I didn't pick it up on the title or anything. I didn't really look into it. I just went in blind, and so I was like all in on this love story. Surprise, right? Shocker. And
Oh no.
yeah. So like, I mean, I'm like so happy for her.
Oh.
And like the second it turns, I'm just like, fuck this movie. Go fuck yourself. I hate you. And I reached for the remote, and I really wanted to just turn it off because I'm like, I can't emotionally handle this.
That's what it's aiming for, though, right?
And
Oh, yeah.
I admit it's because they did so fucking good at it, you know. And that still isn't enough. But I don't know why I just powered through it. But like, I can say now that I think the ending was so fun. I mean, and fucking crazy,
Yeah.
shit, nuts outside. I think that was worth it. You know, like it went somewhere more fun, I guess.
I
By
know,
the end, it wasn't necessarily in the same.
I probably should have like given you a trigger warning because I know your ex had her butt eaten by a guy.
You know, man, I try to raise awareness and stuff.
Yeah.
If you go back and look, then one thing that I noticed, like when our lead and Sebastian Stan meet in that supermarket and she's standing by the produce, the above sign in the background actually says fresh meat, which I think is it's really kind of cool when you go back and look at it. It's just like it's very, very subtle.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good. I couldn't put it on my list, but I'm glad everybody liked it, and it's a damn good movie if you can handle it, I guess. It's just tough for me.
Okay, well, my number 4, this is a first one mentioned
Ooh.
as well. VHS 99.
Oh.
Nice.
You just love your VHS.
I do, but this one, I don't know, it was just a lot of fun, man. I thought it was really funny. I don't know. I don't think there was a segment that I hated. I mean, there was, some that were not as strong as the others, and some of them get really weird in parts, which I really appreciate. And I know we've discussed this film already, and it's still kind of shocking to me. And some of the ones that you guys disliked that ended up probably being my favorites, like that final one, still with the 2 guys that end up in hell. I thought it was a lot of fun.
So you put it on your list to plead
funny.
your case some more on this.
Maybe I don't know. I just really like this VHS. I don't know. It's just the more it sits with me, the more I like it, and the more I think I liked it better than the one before. And I know that's controversial, because I think you guys all liked '96 way better than this one.
But we haven't heard Dustin's take yet, so
That's true.
For VHS 99,
Yeah.
it didn't make my list. I liked the one before it a little bit more.
Me too.
I really wanted to like
Agreed.
this one. I mean, because I love the VHS series, and I think we might have even talked about it last year. It's like, well, they're good on just about every other one, and as far as I'm concerned, they were kind of due for.
They're on the bad one.
Yeah. They're on the bad one. I mean, I'm not saying it is bad. I'm just saying I didn't enjoy it that much. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. You guys are all kind of on the same page about it, and I elevate it more higher than that. So I don't know why it is.
Hey, I'm glad it worked for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's what we call number 4 in the
Top
industry.
3.
the
Top
industry.
3.
Yeah, top
Here we
3.
go.
Top 3.
We are into the top 3.
Uh-oh.
It's getting intense around here. Jason, what's number 3 for you?
Oh man, I'm so happy. This movie is so fun, and I loved it. It was mentioned once. One person has mentioned it before, but I might say something controversial here. I guess I'll say it after I introduce it. But I fucking loved the new Hellraiser.
Sweet. I think that only has been an honorable mention. It's
That
not
was
on
on my
anybody's list
that was
yet.
my
Yeah.
honorable mention.
All
Yeah.
right. Well then,
I dug it.
Yeah, man. Like I know it's like all the fanboys or all the horror nerds are might take away my card, but I know it's sacrilegious to say, and I know how much I love part 1 and 2, but this might be a
Oh.
better movie than the originals. I mean, as a
Bold
movie,
statement.
yeah, I think it's fucking just better written, and I think everything about it's great. The Cenobites, the girl and her torment and her addiction, struggling with addiction, and just how they unfold the puzzle of the puzzle box, and
You
what it
really
all
get a-
means, and it feels so much more solid of a story
Sure.
than any one that's come before. And not that I'm saying Cenobites are sexier when the girls are nothing, but she's pretty great.
But they're kind of they're supposed to be
know.
androgynous.
But yeah, we got to see a little more Cenobite, how they're made, how fucking fucked up that shit is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And
You get a deep dive into the box and how it operates and what
Yes.
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
it
so-
means.
All of that is great, adding to the lore finally.
Yep. Without
That
like
works.
being a backstory movie, it's just a straight kind of remake, really, kinda. And,
I still see it as
yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
then and then ultimately, like I said when we talked about it before, is that the score really brought it all together. As in, it's just such a iconic part of this franchise and film, and so just all the way around, I fucking loved it. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really like it too. I like the house aspect of it, like Andy mentioned when we did our honorable mentions. That whole kind of 13 Ghosts feel it has of being a big kind of puzzle box in and of itself, and being a trap for the Cenobites. Cenobites were great. I felt like they were a little too polished looking. If I can give anything to any previous installments, and just how more fleshier the Cenobites look, meaty chunks that they look. That some of the Cenobites, it's
Right, they're even
it
more
didn't look-
stylized than and
Yeah, well, it
clean.
looked a little too clean, like
A
it,
little too
like
streamlined,
It
maybe.
didn't. It didn't. I didn't feel the pain and disgust of what a. Yes, the transformation scenes, yes, but some of those Cenobites just, it didn't look like torn meaty flesh to me as much as, say, like Chatterer in the first one or what have you, but definitely a lot of great. I feel like this is the most Cenobite action we've ever seen. Even when even compared, you talk about how it's controversial that this is better than the first two. And I'll give it to you. I mean, first two is always going to have a special place
hands down.
in all of our hearts.
Absolutely.
But I can give it to you because, like, my biggest complaint always, as much as
not
I
enough
love
Cenobite.
two, is and how much of a little pussy fight that scene is.
Here comes the chains. Look out.
Yeah, it's like, oh, finally, some showdown with Cenobites and this doctor guy, and it lasts like 2 seconds, and
Yeah.
pin it, So, like, we finally get like some real Cenobite action going on in this movie, and it's great. But it's still true to how these Cenobites interact. They're still like slow and it's, but it, yeah.
Gothy and everything.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good word.
My number 3, Hellraiser.
Sweet. So, Tad, what's your number 3?
No surprise, it's been mentioned. Barbarian, loved it.
Yes.
And like I've mentioned earlier, like I feel like these top 3 can all sort of be interchangeable, and depending on the day. This was the most fun I had at a theater all year. Like I said, without spoiling things, when shit starts hitting the fan in this movie, like usually I hate when the audience makes noise, but in this scenario, they were all reacting to the movie as they should, as we all are internally, but it was like so wild that they had to let it out, and it's like, man, I sort of missed that in the last 2 years without people in theaters. It was like we're all having fun. We're all on a roller coaster, I guess would be the best way to say it. And that was a fun roller coaster, man. We just don't get movies like this much anymore, and I hope that studios will take some more risks after seeing how well received something like this was. So, Barbarian.
And also to call back what you said before, not just so much risks in making the movie itself and staying true to that original vision, but also taking risks in things like the advertising of it, right?
Yeah, not giving away.
Like
Yeah.
I really feel like how they treated it before its release really helped the film. Because again, any spoilers is just gonna throw it off.
Yeah, they understood the mission and executed it perfectly, and it's just a great sort of set of circumstances to put together very well to let this sort of event happen. So,
Man, I can't believe he pushed her. Jesus, I can't believe it.
God, what a dick!
Dick.
Fucking about broke my TV when that fucking happened. I'm not kidding. I was so pissed off. And,
Yeah, I
Oh.
was right there with you. I'm like,
God damn it, that doesn't happen.
After he was, shit. No more than 2 minutes earlier, he was lamenting about how
know.
he needs to change, and this
Fucker.
little peckerhead.
never changes.
It's great though
Yeah,
when
it
it
is.
happens
It
because
is.
like you just are following him through all this, and you're like, oh, he's becoming a better person. This is his arc, and then he turns out to be even bigger dick than when he started. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Sorry. Yeah. Good one.
hey Andy,
Hey, what?
knock knock.
Who's there?
What's your number 3?
Okay.
I'm trying to mix it up. I'm
he's
just
getting
like,
My
bored.
number,
Yeah.
but yeah, stellar job. My number 3 has been mentioned before, and it's higher than anybody else has ranked it. But damn it, I had so much fun watching this. My number 3 is Christmas, Bloody Christmas. I
Yes.
love all of Joe Bago's stuff. This, like you said, it's just like the Terminator is a slasher film in disguise. This is just a slasher movie in Terminator disguise. It's and the thing is, sometimes I just love a nice gory horror film where I can just turn my brain off and just have fun, and this is exactly it.
yep.
It's all the stuff like you guys have mentioned before. It's just all the kills, the chemistry between the female and male lead, Jeff Daniel Phillips, the asshole deputy, Joe Bagos's ranchero getting run into was hilarious. Yeah, and it's just it includes a lot of stuff that I just love in my everyday life, between record stores, and the movies, and how these two banter and talk to each other about movies and music. It's just like that's how that's what we're doing right now. That's how we interact.
Exactly.
And my one gripe would be about it. I just was like, I don't think it needed to have as many endings as Lord of the Rings.
Come on.
Because he just keeps coming back. But okay.
I thought maybe
It's
it was
forgivable.
almost. Yeah, I almost felt like that was like a joke. Like he knew, like doing
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Like just how far can I push this before
One more
people get
time.
mad?
Okay, one more
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like I said, it's a turn your brain off, just have fun, blood and guts, splatter movie. And it's, total fun. Can't say enough good things about it. It's my kind of horror movie, I guess.
I'm so happy that it keeps popping up. I feel guilty that it wasn't in my top 10.
You should. Probably mad.
It was great. It was so much fun.
You must not like fun movies.
Oh,
so.
you know what? Okay, whatever, A24. Dustin, what's your number 3?
Well, we've already talked about it, but that's The Black Phone.
Black
Sweet.
Bones.
I enjoyed this a lot, and you know what the most I enjoyed about it is really good kid actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids were
The
good.
brother and sister were amazing. They were believable brother and sister. They like the home life that they're brought up in is so believable, and it's just really kind of like a side story with them and their father, which I think it's one of those great supporting subplots that that they doesn't matter who you are, in that time period that you could live in this type of household and you could still be somebody who gets kidnapped. It doesn't matter, like I said, who you are. I just thought the dialogue sequences with the black phone were amazing. Again, more child actors doing an amazing job. I don't know how you get like this many kids that are this good. Because usually you get somebody and they just kind of blow it. All these kids were great. Not to give too much away, but yeah, Black Phone. It felt like I know it's Joe Hill. It still felt like a Stephen King. I hate to discredit him and say that this Joe Hill movie felt like Stephen King because it is his story. But man, does it feel like a Stephen King movie?
It
Like
really
it's a
does,
story.
yeah.
But that's a compliment.
Yeah.
It's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely has a Stephen King feel to it, but with a lot less cocaine. Yeah.
Well, like
Yes.
Jason talking about having a hard time getting through Fresh, like to me the like kids at home life, that was hard for me to watch, and that's a credit to how good those kid actors were. Like I felt so bad for them having that home life, but I also was invested in when anything was to happen to them. I'm like, don't let anything. And I knew, going in that they're not safe, but it's like these guys have such a rough home life that don't fucking touch them. Come on. And then they have such a good bond, and oh man, like such good performances that I'm totally invested when anything happens to them that I'm full in, so good pick. I agree.
Maybe you guys can help me. I'm trying to. So I was gonna say like, yeah, I like this movie a lot too, and everything, but I couldn't decide. I remember when we first talked about it. I don't know. How do you guys feel about it being the supernatural element? Because like the movie does so hard to be real.
Like true crime almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
like.
That's probably why it's not my top 10. I just didn't dig that
Like,
part of it.
Is it? Did they mix it together well? Does it not? I feel like you need not like the Kings, Joe Hill and Stephen King need a supernatural element to be what they are, But like, I don't know. Like, did it bother you guys at all, or did you feel it was like mixed well, or?
Well, me personally, it was a little jarring at first, only because I thought the movie was just going in this realism spectrum. But at the end of the day, like the stuff that goes on in that basement on the supernatural level is what made me love the movie.
Sure.
So it's hard to criticize that
Yep.
because all those elements that I keep bringing up, all those elements that get set up for this kid finally to escape. And then you got like the other supernatural element of it, which is what goes on with the little sister. And it's hard to bitch about that because she was my favorite character in this movie. She kicked ass. How
she's
awesome is that?
fantastic. Yeah.
When you
She
have to
really
have
did.
your little sister stand up for you and in a
Fuck
fight.
yeah.
She was just amazing.
She was.
That little actress and just that character. I just love that little girl. And that's definitely where it really felt like Stephen King with her character and her abilities. It was very Shining-esque.
Yep.
She had the Shining, so maybe it's connected. But but I know what you're saying. But at the same time,
Yeah, I just wasn't sure what all you guys thought about.
well, that's me. I don't know about
blend.
anybody else.
Dustin was on your list. What? does the supernatural stuff? I mean, you think it was blended okay, or
Well, yeah, I
you
mean,
like that?
I like that. I mean, again, I'm kind of with Mike on that. Once that stuff started to happen, I was in it even more.
You're like, oh fuck, look what they did here.
And they could have. Gosh, I don't want to spoil.
Yeah.
It, I can't say what I want to say without spoiling it. If well, we've already mentioned that there's supernatural elements. If they would have came out and they would have revealed something that those supernatural elements weren't actually there, that they were all just a figment of his imagination. I
Would we
I
have
think
got
I would
that
have
far?
liked it less.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just added a nice new layer to keep it going. Yeah. Cool.
Cool. So is it me? Did somebody else have something?
I just said cool.
Cool.
No.
But Mike, what's yours? Number 3.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. My number 3, it's been brought up a lot, but I love it more than you guys, apparently. Not as much as Tad, because Tad and I agree. Number 3 is Barbarian. Woo! Oh, and I don't know. Maybe because it's sadly the only film on this list that
You
I
saw in
got
the
to see
theater?
in the theater. And
Yeah,
that
it
always
helps.
enhances it. I don't care what anybody says out there. Go to the theater because it makes movies better. But, yeah, and the same thing with Tad, getting that crowd reaction to it. This movie for me, and this is a slight exaggeration, but this movie to me is everything I wish it could have been first time seeing Psycho, right? 'Cause sadly, we live in a day and age where nobody's going to go into Psycho completely blind.
Right.
It's not going to happen. How much I would love to be able to go back in time and watch Psycho in the theater in 1960 on opening weekend and just
With
watch
that big
the
ass
audience.
marquee in New York.
Yeah, and just watch the audience freak out. And I feel like I got that experience a little bit with Barbarian, getting to see it in the theater with a crowd,
That's cool.
with a crowd full of what the fucks, So, but beyond that, and we didn't really get into the meat and potatoes, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to spoil, but there's a lot of really cool scenes that go on in that second and third act. Cinematography wise, doing a good job of building tension.
Anytime
and
you have a
suspense.
long, narrow hallway
Yes.
that's poorly lit, you're just like, fuck
Oh.
you.
Yeah,
movie.
exactly.
Nope.
I didn't know how far to go with that, but yes,
That's
knowing
that's
something's
negative.
in that,
Oh, God.
and we basically are really seeing. You see people in the woods.
Sure.
And it's creepy and scary, but yet it's oddly very well lit. You don't get that. You were really
Nope.
kind of seeing what Justin Long is seeing or what she's seeing in that hallway. There's something down there at the end, but you can't quite make it out. You're not sure. Oh, and I just loved those moments in those long hallways. So, yeah, Barbarian is number 3 for me. But, oh my God, guys.
Yeah.
We're in the top 2. Top 2 movies of 2022. What could they possibly be? Jason, what to you is the second best horror movie of 2022?
Guys, I'm at a crossroads with all of our friendships. And that's because this next film, I've basically spent the last 4 hours with you fuckers, and this movie hasn't come up once, not even a mention, not even anything in passing, and so I'm just saying, if this movie I'm about to say isn't in your second or first fucking movie, I'm not sure we can be friends anymore. Is all I'm saying,
It's heavy.
and I'm talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It was in my honorable mentions.
Bullshit, not good enough. Anyway, new Chainsaw movie. I fucking loved it. It's so goddamn good. It's old man Bubba, and he's just kicking ass. He's just trying to be chill, but no, these fucking kids, these goddamn millennials,
Every fucking time.
every fucking time, just can't let an old man hang out. No. Anyway, we goddamn, I love this movie. It's so great and gory and fun, and yeah, just it's great. It's great.
It is great. I'm sorry,
No,
my brother.
that's-
It's not in my top 10.
That's cool. You know that today marks our last day of our
Oh,
friendship,
what
so
the
that's cool.
F?
We made it this long. I thought you liked good horror movies. So.
It's a great horror movie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so much fun. Leatherface in full form.
No, that's cool. You put VHS 99 above this, so cool, buddy. Cool. Anyway, yeah, love it. It's my number 2.
I like how in the trailer, the most cringeworthy moment in the trailer turned out to be the leading into the coolest moment of the whole movie.
The bus scene.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the
You're
trailer,
canceled.
you see that where they do the whole cancel thing and they're all taking
Picking up their
pictures. You're like,
phones.
oh my God, really? Are we going to go there? But
This
then
is-
that leads into the most epic moment of the entire film.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, really, asshole? Just hold on."
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I will rethink my list from here on out. 10 through
Yeah.
1 is Texas Chain. Well, you know what? I don't even want to hear it. This is number 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You call
Well,
yourself a fan. It's not number 1.
It's number 2. It's pretty good. At least it's on my top 10. Ex-best friend. Whatever. Just
I guess I could argue and say it. I mean, it feels like a number 2.
stop it.
Uh-oh.
No, we talked about it
I
for what,
know.
2 hours on
We
my
did.
podcast. So you know how I felt about it. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
A lot of people on that bus were probably going number 2.
Guaranteed.
All right. So, Tad, what do you think is the second best horror movie of 2022?
Oh man, this is one that has not been mentioned in honorable mentions, not mentioned anywhere. This might be one I lose friendships to, but I love this movie, and I've actually seen it on like worst of 2022 lists.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh, no.
But I'm okay with
Why?
it. It is Bones and All.
Okay. I didn't get a
I
chance to
haven't
see it.
seen it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
got to see. I saw this like the last night it was in our theater. I really wasn't sure what to expect. It's from the same writer director that did the Suspiria reboot and Call Me by Your Name. It has Timothy Chalamet,
Oh, that's so good.
and the lead Taylor Russell is fantastic. But the real standout performance in this is Mark Rylance. Holy shit! Like the creepiest fucking thing this year in horror. He plays his character named Sully. I can't spoil anything, but he made me so goddamn uncomfortable the entire movie. Every time he was on the screen, I wanted to squirm out of my skin and just get out of there. Jason, I know when you see this, it
You
might,
told me.
yeah, it might make it slither into your list. But this feels like a Jason movie, and people are probably listening to this and going, "It's not even a horror movie," but it's about people who eat people. So it starts
I
off
think that counts. Yeah.
in the first couple minutes with a girl eating someone else's finger, and it is gory, and they do not skimp on the blood and violence in this. I'm sort of curious because Dustin's the only other one that saw it, and did you hate this one, Dustin? Okay, fair enough. But I adored this one. Oh man, it was close to number one. I really like this one. It's a Tad movie. It's artsy and pretty, and
Awesome.
but
I watched the trailer as soon as you told me about it. I'm like, fuck, that looks good.
Yeah, and it actually had like one of its very first screenings several months ago. It was the weekend of Halloween Palooza in Iowa City because the writer went to school at University of Iowa. So,
Oh, cool.
so it has some ties here. It played at the, Refocus Film Festival. Yeah, so played at the Englert, and they sold that theater out for its Midwest premiere. So, I highly recommend this. It's beautiful, well performed, great cinema. It has Trent Reznor as the score too,
Oh,
and he said
fuck.
it's his favorite score he's ever
Oh,
done.
Wow.
Shit, nice.
So if nothing else, great score.
Damn.
I love this one. Bones and all, number 2.
Oscar award winner Trent Reznor.
yeah. All right, Andy, number 2 for you.
I'm a little bit, prejudiced because I'm probably like the biggest Predator fan out of the group here, man. I'm going with Prey.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. The landscapes, the story, just the way it was shot. I mean, the Predator guts a grizzly bear and gorilla presses him over his head like the fucking Ultimate Warrior and showers in his blood.
And that's when Andy came.
Yeah, right there.
Exactly. Exactly. I had a freaking boner with a big tomahawk on the end of it. It was awesome. I was so happy. I mean, it's like, it's just fucking awesome. How could you not like this movie?
Yeah,
I
That
this,
should be on the box cover, Randy.
right. Andy's quote:
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 tomahawk boners.
Yes. Absolutely. And it does tie into Predator 2 with the flintlock pistol,
Yeah.
which I like all the Predator movies. Believe it or not, there are some duds. There are some ones that are better than others, but I always found something that I liked about them. But yeah, this is definitely up there, if not neck and neck with the first one. And I've always loved that sort of, that one-on-one with the underdog, just out there in the elements. And I've always loved that kind of, killer be killed, storyline. It's just between these, it's just it always comes down to these two, this one big nasty monster against this, very vulnerable person that always manages to come out on top after all this adversity. And what is it? But it's just another very cleverly disguised slasher film, and it's always going to be effective, in my opinion. Big giant tomahawk boner for number 2.
That might be the funniest thing you've ever said.
That was awesome.
All right, Dustin, what's your number 2?
Well, y'all are probably gonna hate me.
You say that.
This hasn't been mentioned at all, and it probably would not on anybody's list ever. But I went into watching this movie with my expectations completely in the gutter. I was just watching it just to check mark it off my list, and I ended up really liking it, and that is Orphan First Kill.
Oh, nice.
I hear it's
This
good,
actually
yeah.
doesn't have that too many bad reviews on it. Like I said, my expectations were going to be in the gutter for this. When I started watching it, they did such a good job because when I started to play it, I'm thinking, how did they do this? This is a prequel to Orphan.
Right.
And the actress is a woman now. And I'm thinking, oh, they're going to use some de-aging techniques. They're going to do something with her face that's going to look odd and it'll ruin it. They didn't do that. I mean, if they did, I didn't see it. They did a really good job of shooting around her with a body double of an actual little girl. And then they used her for like the close-up scenes. And you could tell that, she's older. But they did such a good job of shooting around it. That I was impressed with. And I was even more impressed with the story. I'm thinking, okay, this is going to go nowhere. We know where she ends up. We know how the first movie starts. How can this be interesting in any way? And they do a really good story. It's got Julia Stiles in it. I haven't seen her in forever.
Yeah.
But
Right?
she plays the mother in this, and I mean, I don't want to ruin it, but they do a really good job of making you interested in the story. It doesn't have a very good ending, but I just thought they did a really good job. It's shot well. There's some gore in it, obviously, and you're as you're not really on Esther's side in the first one. In this prequel, you're kind of on Esther's side, which they do a really good job of kind of switching you. Of course, you would have to be, otherwise it's the same movie as the first one. But I had a lot of fun with it. I think if you guys haven't watched it, I think you should at least give it a shot. It's not bad, and obviously I liked it enough that it surprised me so much that I wanted it to be high on my list. So
I
number
haven't
2.
seen either of them.
I can't say that I have either.
Okay.
So my confession is I started watching this, but it was like really late, and I fell asleep towards the end, so I did not put it on. I didn't check it off on our master list. Because I'm honest.
How noble of you.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I was really digging what I saw. It probably wouldn't have made my top 10, but I really liked it because I went into it thinking, oh, it's just going to be more of the same of the first movie.
Right.
And there is a reveal that happens.
Yes.
Like, in the first half of the movie that, like, my jaw hit the floor. I'm like, oh wow, that's awesome. So
Yep. That's what made the turning point for me. Was this? I guess there's a reveal in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure.
yeah, nice and original. So it's like because the whole thing starts playing out. The whole first half of the movie plays out like it's like okay, this is just we're seeing the same thing. This is the orphan tropes, you could say, and but then it flips, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I need to finish watching it. But I think it was like literally I think it was last night. So
You tried.
gosh.
yeah, I tried. Yeah.
Mike,
All right.
what's your number 2?
All right, thank you. My number 2. So one of the things I'm sincere when I say this, that I love about doing these year enders is getting to hang out with Dustin.
Yes.
I rarely ever get to talk to you anymore. I never get to see you anymore. And so many fond memories of hanging out with you. And every once in a while, a weird ass movie will come along that just brings back the feelings of being at your place and getting to see Dude Bro Massacre Part 2 for the first time, and how much I love that movie, and how much I love you for introducing me to that movie, but at the same time being jealous that I never get to introduce you to weird-ass movies like that until now.
Uh-oh.
Because this movie reminds me so much of that experience, and I looked at the list, even double-checked right before I got to talk here to see if you've watched it yet, and you have not.
Okay.
And my number 2 movie of 2022 is The Fireplace, a.k.a. Adult
known.
Swim's
Oh,
Yule Log.
I know what this is. And I wasn't able to watch it.
Yes, you, sir, need to see it. It's directed by Casper Kelly, the guy who did Too Many Cooks.
And unedited footage of a bear, which is one of my favorite things ever.
Exactly. Exactly. And those who don't know anything about the concept, I will share with you the concept that it's one of those like
Screensavery.
Yule log.
Yule log videos
that you
of a fireplace. You don't have a fireplace at home and it's Christmas and you want that fireplace feel.
I play them every year.
Play a video. Yeah, they're everywhere, especially on different streaming services. And so it's that, but there is a full-length horror movie that happens around this Yule log video. And it's great. And it goes off the rails as you expect anything from Adult Swim to do, especially from Casper Kelly. It goes in so many weird directions. And I loved it. I was laughing my ass off, and it's great. And yeah, Dustin, if you love Dude Bro Massacre Part 2, you will love this. If you love Too Many Cooks, you will definitely love this.
Yes.
It's
I
on
love
HBO
everything
Max.
That guy does.
Yeah.
What's the official title?
Well,
Yule Log?
Adult Swim Yule Log, but also known as The Fireplace.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
The Fireplace.
So like I'm trying to remember. I think IMDb I found it under it was hard to find because IMDb, I think, had it under Adult Swim's Yule Log, but then Letterboxd had it under The Fireplace. So, yeah. Hopefully you can find it under either, but just make sure that you see that it's the 2022.
Yeah.
Just
Jason's
don't end
like,
up watching a Yule log.
yeah, Jason's like 2 hours in, and he's like, God, when's it get good?
When's it gonna do the thing?
I will say this. I go in with a certain expectation on things, and I am always open and free to admit that if it doesn't go as I expect it to, it could tarnish it. You know, I don't think a lot of people admit that when they watch things, and they just instantly say that it sucks.
It's one of the biggest problems in people's negative.
Yeah. So I'm more than happy to admit that. So I will say there are 2 moments in this film that I was disappointed at first, because you go in with the concept and
They didn't do the thing.
it's like, oh, how is this going to play out as a feature film? And it doesn't at first, and then it doesn't. It doesn't at first, and you're like, oh, that's a bummer. But now we have this. So if it continues to play out like this, I'm being so cryptic because I really want everybody to watch this. But then it does it to me again, and I'm like, oh, dang it. But then by that point, it just starts getting weird, and typical, Casper Kelly weird, and it didn't matter at that point anymore. So,
Correction, I was wrong. Casper Kelly did not do unedited footage of a bear. That was a different director. So just wanted to correct myself there.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
there's 2 people in the world that can do that crazy ass shit. Oh my goodness.
It's just something in the water at the Adult Swim Studios, I think. But, so I would love it for all you guys to see it, but at the same time, when I tell you the bear description of it, also keep in mind that that is way vaguer than it actually is.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to go in with a wrong expectation.
Right.
God damn it, that was hard.
No expectations here.
Okay. Just go in expecting weirdness, and then you'll be okay. All right. Oh my God, we're here.
We're finally here, guys.
This is it.
Fine.
Oh, drum roll. I can't play drums.
No.
Our number 1 films of 2022.
Number 1. Our number 1.
Number 1. Jason, what is the best horror movie of 2022?
Easy. The Munsters. I'm just kidding. Whoa. I'm kidding. That's a joke. There's nothing real about that in any way. I'm so sorry.
We're going to edit that out of context and
God damn it. You.
throw it all over the
Maybe
internet.
a soundbite, yeah.
All right. It's dash cam. I'm just kidding. I
That's
wanted to
not
see
even
Mike's
funny.
Knock it
I
off.
wanted to
Knock
see
it
Mike's
off.
face on that.
That's maybe number 1 worst movie of
Yeah,
2022.
You're already not friends anymore. You don't have to run.
Yeah, that's true, right? Since you guys are all fuckers. So my favorite movie from last year, even more than Texas Chainsaw, was it is a movie that I haven't been on the edge of my seat in anticipation more than I was in this movie. It fucking blew me away. It reeled me in, and I was so along for the ride. It just blew my fucking mind. It gave me goosebumps like I haven't felt watching a movie in a long time. And that movie is Nope.
Sweet,
Nice.
okay.
It
Nice.
it
Sounds
just
like-
fucking I loved it. It was such a fun way to tell a movie about whatever it's about if you haven't seen it.
Have you seen like some of the behind the scenes stuff, how they filmed the skies and stuff at
A
night?
little bit, but I haven't watched a lot. I need to. Is it
There's like one shot that's like from far away from the house
Yeah.
that shows the lighting, and it's just like, how in the fuck did they do this? I just had to like, they filmed some of the daytime scenes at night and
Yeah.
used lighting to get like the weird skies. I had to just send it to you. You're gonna be
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Please
But
do.
so cool.
Yeah, man. I was the main character in this movie. I was just like couldn't just trying to fucking figure it out, and it was just so creepy and spooky. And when you finally start seeing things, you're just, oh man, it's fucking awesome.
He turned down Black Panther 2 for this.
Wow,
Nice.
Good for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Like, take control of it. Like, the
Yeah.
money or what you want to do.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Absolutely. Good for him. Can I make a weird observation?
Yeah.
I feel like this is his Jaws.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that whole stuff in the third act just so reminded me of Jaws. Like, putting the plan together to,
Yep.
take on this thing.
Hope it
And-
works.
Yeah.
It's
And
the three,
and getting
sort
to
of the
see-
three of them. Yeah.
Yeah, getting
Yeah.
to see the full execution of this plan, where it almost turns into like more of an adventure story at that point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the camera guy, director, cinematographer is almost like sacrificing him. I'm not going to spoil
Yeah.
anything. I can see where you're going with this. That's cool.
Nope.
It's crazy. Like, it didn't dawn on me till right now that obviously Nope is your number one, because it didn't show up anywhere on the list, and I'm like, I know he loves this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Did you see it in
fantastic.
theaters?
I did not.
Bummer.
I'll be honest. I'm not sure I saw anything in the theater this year.
The whole year?
I don't think so.
Oh my.
I didn't
I
either.
missed it.
I mean, I
Yeah.
get it. I could probably count on one hand how many movies I saw in the theater.
Well, like earlier when you said like you might be biased because you saw like Barbarian in the theater and
Yeah.
it enhanced the experience. I would say the Black Phone might have made it on my list had I not seen it in theaters because of such a bad experience that sort of ruined it for me.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it can
both ways.
It
Yeah.
can.
yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
Fucking kids. All right. Sorry.
Okay, so Black Phone isn't your number one, but what is your number one, Tad?
It's been mentioned before. I've gushed about this. I think everybody, if you did Process of Elimination, I haven't mentioned it yet. It's Ty West Pearl.
Nice.
Hey.
Shouldn't have known
I
that too, yeah.
just adored everything from the score. The cinematography is gorgeous. The performances are cool. Are really fantastic. Just the movie in general. Like sort of Andy said, it's like something you would see on Turner Classic Movies, but it has
not.
murder and mayhem in it, which I just loved. Like the juxtaposition of
Yep.
a beautiful old Hollywood style movie and murder and mayhem, and I just cannot get over the fact that this was the one that out of this and X that this was like made on the fly. Like, can you imagine A24 started seeing dailies on this and they're like,
What is
oh,
he
this
doing?
you're right. Like, just the story behind it's really is interesting, and to have two new films from Ty West in the same year, and I just love this one. Obviously, it's my number one movie, but I hope this takes home something, in award season, and if nothing else, some Spirit Independent Film Awards, but. I felt like the performance of Mia Goth in this alone put it above X for me, but
Sure.
I can understand why people would. It's sort of like take your pick on which of the two you prefer. It's like but it's cool that they're on two opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, can you think of two follow-ups in a franchise that are so different yet somehow work together? I don't know, man. I adore this movie.
Awesome. Excellent.
Yes.
All right, Andy, what do you think is the best movie of 2022?
Already been mentioned a couple of times. I'm going with Barbarian.
Yay!
Just everything is, it's almost turns into a mystery once you get further down, into the catacombs of this house, and the more you figure it out, the more invested you become, and everything else that you guys have already touched on. It's just like Justin Long being a douchebag, and just like, and the way that the movie doesn't, it's it has a linear storyline, of course, but it just doesn't come across like that because like 1 minute you're in the house and then 1 minute you're on the West Coast, you know, thousands of miles away from Michigan, and you're in with Justin Long in his car, and it's just like, okay, how the
Right.
hell is this going to tie together?
Throws you right in.
And it was so, I mean, you're with that happening, you're just like, okay, I'm even more invested at this point because I got to figure out how the hell how does this come together? But yeah, just like everything else you guys have said, I mean, there's even more funny moments like, the homeless guy says, "Oh, I've been out here 20 years and she's never come out," and then boom, she crashes through the wall like Kool-Aid Man and fucking eats the guy. I mean, it's just, God, it's such a good movie. Yeah, just down to everything. And I think I mentioned this on the podcast. It's just like I think that since they're both, I think it's set in Detroit, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, I think I think this crazy, feral woman down below there. She lives on the same block as the Don't Breathe guy. I can't remember his last name, but yeah, Detroit, in the slums of Detroit, it's a very horrible place where there's lots of nasty sex dungeons in basements. But
I feel like everyone gasped when they showed the next morning outside the house. The first time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It actually
shit.
was, yeah.
Where fuck.
yeah, you have
Definitely
this.
some interesting commentary on the whole Detroit thing and the state of Detroit and the decline of neighborhoods and stuff. Like when you get to the flashback segments.
Oh yeah, and just how lush the lawns were and
Yeah.
everything was maintained.
The
Yeah.
contrast of that neighborhood now versus the past. Yeah. Yes, great movie. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, what could possibly be Dustin's number
Oh, I'm so
one?
excited.
No,
Let me
it's
ask
not
him,
bad.
Dustin, what's your number
You should
one
ask
movie?
My number one is Bones and All.
Oh.
Okay, thank you.
I
that's
knew
why you acted
pretty much about 15 minutes in that this was going to be my number one. Man, this is a horror cannibal road movie,
Ah,
and
yes.
it's so many things that I love mixed in together, and then you put in an immaculate score from Trent Reznor that is so good. The music in this is so good. It makes it. Just the relationship between the two main characters, which I should add love story in there as well. It's like this hybrid, I've never seen anything like this before that is gory, that has this love story, that it's on the road, they're traveling. Like Tad said, the Sully character, Academy Award worthy. Like this guy nails it out of the park. Like he is so good.
The
I wish
trailer
we
made
could
it look really raw.
What's that?
The trailer made it look really raw.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's really not. I think it's much more put together than that. I mean, it's solid, and it felt like it was kind of long, the running time. But I wanted more. I just wanted it to keep going. Every story, every subplot in it is good as far as I'm concerned. It was, oh man, I don't want to give a whole lot away, but I think that I don't want to hype it up, but if you watch this, for those of you who haven't seen it, would definitely be on your list for sure.
And it's David Gordon Green's best movie this year.
Oh, it's him.
He no, he's in the movie. He
Oh,
plays
okay.
a character. He acts in this for some reason. Yeah, he's an actor in this. I just sort of, taking a swipe at Halloween Ends, even though I liked it.
Yeah,
But,
I always thought that was weird that he was in this.
yeah,
I don't
And it
want to
was
spoil. I don't want to
an
spoil his
interesting
part.
scene. Yeah,
Yeah. pretty bizarre. But yeah, I would love to talk about it more sometime with you all because I think there's a lot of discussion to be had here about the characters and the people that they run into, and it's just so solid. I could see this being up for an Academy Award if they wanted to pursue it, or submit it.
That's exciting.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. You guys make me want to watch it now.
You should.
Probably should.
I probably will. All right, so saving the best for last.
Oh, whatever. Just
Quite
say it.
literally. Because this is the best movie of 2022. Here, this is interesting. This movie has not been brought up at all in these 2 episodes. It got an honorable mention from somebody. So I think this is going to be quite a shocker for everybody that this movie made my number 1 for this year. And that is A Wounded Fawn. Oh. I really dug this. A lot of it has to do with how it was shot. It is such a throwback to 70s as far as the look and the feel of this movie. It's not a 70s movie. It doesn't take place in the 70s movie. I mean, there's cell phones and all that modern convenience. But the way it's shot and like the set dressings and everything, I mean, it's just a lot of like ugly browns and those kind of colors as far as the color schemes go. But just the overall look of the cinematography of this movie and the way it was lit and everything. I mean, so if you haven't seen it, this woman goes on this date with this guy who turns out to be this serial killer, and then they end up going to his remote cabin in the woods, which is actually quite it's a nicer house than mine for it having to be a cabin in the woods. Anyway, and so I love like all the stuff when they get out to the woods because such unnatural 70s style shooting in the woods type of lighting that they did. It is so overblown shot against trees, and it just has such a 70s aesthetic look to it. And I think if I remember watching it right, they added some grain to it, which is like, okay, whatever. However you feel about that, Jason.
Hey.
But it was still subtle enough that I just feel like it added to the 70s feel of it. But not to mention, like, both of the characters. I mean, it's a two-person film, and they carry the movie excellently. And at one point, it just turns into a film nothing but the serial killer, where it's just following him around for the last half of the movie, and it gets kind of crazy, and some weird things happen, some weird things he visions and stuff like that when he's out in the woods and everything, which is also just a really cool 70s aesthetic that makes me it just flashes back to like crazy cult films from the 70s, like Race with the Devil, or what's that one British film about cults that we really, really liked? Devil's
Reign.
No, not Devil's
Ernest
Reign.
Borgnine.
Well, Devil's Reign, yes, that too. But anyway, so I really, really, really dug this movie. And to give you full context of it, why I was able to catch up with so many movies over the past few weeks is I had a few nights of like total insomnia, and would fall asleep for probably about a half an hour, wake up, and was like, well, I can't just lay here anymore. And I go downstairs and I put this on. It's like I can fall asleep to this, right?
Nope.
And no, I was awake through the whole goddamn thing at 3:00 in the morning. That's got to say something, especially for me. When I fall asleep at 11 o'clock at night watching, that Orphan movie, Orphan's First Kill. I forgot the name for a second. Orphan's First Kill. But yet at 3:00 in the morning, I can stay awake through this whole thing. That to me, that says a lot. So if any of you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And I'm probably talking
Just
it
me.
way up too much. Yeah,
It was shot on 16 millimeter.
that explains it. So maybe the grain stuff wasn't
It's real.
post. Yeah,
It was real.
good. I mean, it felt really good. It felt, it didn't feel like it was some filter. Yeah, so yeah, Jason, I'm looking at you.
I'm
Check it
gonna
out.
watch it.
I think you would really dig it. I really do.
Really cool, yeah. Thanks to I don't remember who in the attacker chat you brought it up, but I'll admit, like a lot of these, like this one, I watched simply because it's like 90 minutes, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can knock that out pretty quick, and it's less for some reason a 90-minute movie compared to even a 100-minute movie. I'm like, when you get those triple digits, I'm like, I really got to commit to it now.
Yeah.
So my brain is so weird like that. But a 90-minute movie, that's just real quick,
Is it just me, or maybe it just felt this way because I was getting to that point where I was looking for the, for the shorter ones? But it really felt like there wasn't like a lot of really heavy, long movies.
Not really.
Because even what was the one? It was like somebody's. I'm blanking on everything now. Oh yeah, Watcher. Watcher was just barely an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. It just felt like a lot of movies, got to the point.
I really liked Wounded Fawn, and I sort of started getting a bit confused, like towards the end. I think I really liked it up to there's a sort of a point where there's a twist after they get out there where he starts losing it. Where I was like, maybe I'm just sort of losing my interest in it. I still enjoyed it, but it just I sort of just wanted it to be what it was for the first like half.
So you didn't dig all the weird craziness that went on in the woods with him?
It was okay, but I felt like I was too dumb. I'm like, am I missing something? Like,
I think he himself basically became the victim within the statue
okay,
because basically those were like the three Greek gods in his mind, because as he was slowly losing his head, and because like basically he became the victim within the statue, and that's what I derived from it.
well,
So
thank you, Andy, because like I said, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, I get it. It can be confusing, but to me, it was just part of the wild ride. And the very, very end, like we're talking credit sequence, like that was awesome. I dug that too.
That was good. Yeah.
him squirming
saying
for
it.
about 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, I was gonna say it, but yeah, that was. I loved it. Never have I enjoyed credits like that.
It's kind of like they
This
took
is
the
different.
scene from Evil Dead Evil Dead 2 where Ash is like losing it, and they just made that the whole third act of their movie.
Yeah,
it
I can
really
see
was.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was already unhinged. So it's like, is this reality or is this all just in his head? Right. I mean, the whole third act, but we know right out of the gate there's something not right because his motivations for his kills is all based on what he thinks is an outside source. So yeah, I dug it. I want to watch it again. And it's what's that guy's name?
Josh Rubin.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. And
He was
I'm
in Scare Me.
yep.
Yeah.
I'm becoming quite the fan of him of late.
Yeah, I
too.
think he's awesome.
Well, that's it,
Wow.
guys. Wow.
Yeah.
Do we want to recap?
Yeah, do it quick.
I'll try. So, top 10s, starting with Jason. 10, Hatching. 9, Glorious. 8, Pearl. 7, X. 6, Northman. 5, Prey. 4, Watcher. 3, Hellraiser. 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And 1, Nope. Tad, number 10, Bodies. Number 9, Nope. Number 8, Hatching. Number 7, The Sadness. Number 6, Christmas Bloody Christmas. Number 5, X. Number 4, Prey. Number 3, Barbarian. Number 2, Bones and All. And number 1, Pearl. For Andy, we had Black Phone at number 10, Smile not at 9, 8, Pearl, 7, Glorious, 6, The Sadness, 5, Hatching. 4, X. 3, Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Prey at number 2. And number 1, Barbarian. Dustin, we had Mad God at number 10. Smile at 9. 8 was Prey. 7, The Sadness. 6, Halloween Ends. 5, Barbarian. 4, Fresh. 3, Black Phone. 3, Orphan First Kill. And number 1, Bones and All. And then me, the proper list. Number 10, Nope. Number 9, Terrifier 2. Number 8, The Sadness. Number 7, Black Phone. Number 6, Glorious. 5 was Prey. 4, VHS 99. 3, Barbarian. Number 2, The Fireplace, a.k.a. Adult Swim Yule Log. And number 1, A Wounded Fawn. Woo!
Yeah.
What a list.
What a list indeed. And what a year.
Heck
And that's
yeah.
it. Kind of sad that that's this is over. No more marathoning movies. No more.
It doesn't have to stop.
You don't
Keep
feel
it going.
guilty watching something that's not horror.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Not getting to hang out with Dustin for another year.
Oh, boo.
All right. Well, that is our lists. But what do you guys have to say? We're going to find out here in a minute because we do have some shout outs happening. But real quick, we're going to take a break and listen to a promo for the PFPN, our very own podcast network, the Prescribed Films Podcast Network. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back. So normally we don't do segments for our year-enders, but like I said before the break, we are going to do shout-outs because we can't go without hearing what your guys' favorite movies of 2022 is. So here is Jason with shout-outs.
It's time for shout outs! Shout outs! Shout outs! Shout outs! Shout outs!
All right. Over on Facebook, we got Lisa from the Bad Movie Bunny podcast. She says, nope. Hands down. Good choice, Lisa. I knew she was cool. Up next, we got Dave Thomas. He says, no, Mike, I saw you lean towards the microphone. It's not that one.
The Baconator.
Now I want Wendy's.
Dave says, nope was great. Pearl was terrific. And Andrew Cummings' Neolithic survival slasher, The Origin, was downright brilliant.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's...
I didn't even heard of that one.
didn't even come up. Oh, our pal Brian Clark.
Here we go.
He said it's only 3 movies he lists. Nope, Barbarian, and Something in the Dirt.
Oh, nice. Somebody else brought that up in honorable mentions, didn't they?
I did because I saw it on his shout outs and I was like, I got to check that
Better
out.
check that out. And he was right. Tim Lennerer says, the pandemic being what it is, I didn't get out to the movies much this year, but Nope was really enjoyable.
Yay.
I got a real Quatermass conclusion vibe from it. Also, special credit to Sam Raimi, who proved that even the House of Mouse couldn't sand all the corners and edges off of one of his movies. That was the Disney story that Tad told us. House of Mouse, Disney. Okay. Chad Larkin is
Whoa.
new to our
Yeah.
page.
Dude, I went to school with. Awesome.
Yeah, well, you did. You need to do a better job of explaining what your podcast is about. Because Chad says, Top Gun Maverick, hands down.
Nope, that's just Chad.
Oh, okay. Yes, thanks, Chad. It was
Awesome. Thanks, Chad.
All
Hope
right.
You're actually listening.
And then Jacob McLaughlin says, "Nope is by far my favorite. Probably my favorite movie of Jordan Peele so far. It hasn't left my mind since I first saw it. Mad God is one of the most incredible and staggering achievements in animation that I have ever seen. Phil Tippett is an absolute madman.
Yeah.
Barbarian was just a damn fun time. And Crimes of the Future is more horror adjacent, but it was quite the return from David Cronenberg. I noticed that wasn't on any lists. I didn't get to see it, but you all mumble about it every time it comes up. Like, oh, wish it was better. Thought it was. Did you guys not like it?
I couldn't finish it, so.
Yeah. And then lastly, over on Twitter, we got the Amateur Destroyer at Amateur Destroyer says, he made a nice list here. He says, Pearl, Prey, The Innocents. Did you guys see that? Anybody?
No.
I think Dustin did.
Remember that one? The Innocents?
The Innocents. I don't.
About kids with like superpowers or something.
Oh yeah, that was less. That was less of a horror movie. It probably might have made my list, but it's just I don't know. It didn't feel like a horror movie to me.
Yeah. He also says Terrifier 2, What Josiah Saw. That's not even on our list, so I don't know what the hell that is. Hellbender.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So those are some of his tops. He really enjoyed Glorious, Barbarian,
Yay.
Shut In, and Nope. Lots of good stuff this year. Well, thanks, Amateur Destroyer from Bull Mountain, Oregon. And if you want to leave your voicemail and get on the show still, you can give us a call at 415-952-6857. That's 415-95-AOTKP. Send us in a voicemail. We'll put you on the show in this segment right here. Or not. Whatever. I can edit that. That's cool. But that's shout-outs.
So there you have it, folks.
Oh, we did
You know
it.
why Jason always sounds good on these shows? Because he is the editor. All right. That's right. We did it.
See you guys
Top
next year.
tens.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get a
this is
break
true.
now. This is great.
I know.
We do. I mean, you still have to edit
I
these,
know. Jesus.
So there you have it, folks. That's 2022. All tied up in a nice little bow for you. Hopefully, you guys got some cool suggestions of some movies to watch as we now start working on our list for 2023. But I want to thank everybody for listening.
Thanks to all the attackers out there that are awesome.
Yep. And supporting the show. Tell your friends. JoinTheAttackers.com. Very special thanks to our pal Dustin for joining us again.
Happy to be here.
Jeff fun?
I always have fun.
I know.
Come on.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, everybody, and we will talk to you on the next episode of Attack of the Killer Podcast.
Oh no, could this be the end of?
Attack of the Killer Podcast.